All right, let's see what is going on in the new office, which is going to be almost entirely empty because we are just moving in. But you can see tables, and what is this? It's a bookshelf. Book. Yep. So this will be fun to come in on the weekend and set all this up. But wait. We've got a table. Look, it's got a little table. We can put things on it. And here is attempt number one to put a bookcase together. Yeah, that didn't go well. And then we've got, just because I got to start bringing stuff in from home, because there's no point in this stuff living in my garage. This is one of the reasons we got an office, is all of the castle stuff we used for the Siege of Castle Ren. And just in general, oh yeah, we got a whole bunch of, there's nothing here yet, but we got a whole bunch of, we're starting the process of bringing all the games from my office, from my garage, and my office at home into the real office. There's no rhyme or reason to the stuff I grabbed from my garage. But we've had a whole bunch of cool stuff here. This is the first supplement for the RPG, the first company I ever worked for, Last Unicorn Games, published. I wasn't there when they came up with this, but Aria, Canticle of the Monomyth. Like that, this is, I think, no joke, I think this is the most 90s game ever. This is fantastic. Just telling you right there, it's a canticle of the monomyth. What more could you possibly need to know? And just to open to a random page and start reading, I guarantee you we're going to find something crazy. What is this? Let's see if we can read this. Remember that the myth guide should determine to which of the incipient agricultural categories the persona's society belongs. There is a significant overlap between possible subsistent classification values for incipient and fully agricultural societies. If the value is within the overlapping range, the myth guide decides to which of the two classifications the society belongs. The decision should be made by considering the various environ parameters of the narrative environment. I often consider the various environ parameters of the narrative environment when I'm trying to figure out whether my agricultural society is fully incipient or not. I want to be a good myth guide, so I guess I got it. There was 2 reviews of this I will never forget. One of them said it was written NyQuil. And I think nowadays they'd probably say written Ambien. And then the other one said if they ever publish a English language translation of it, that it would probably be really cool. Blue Planet, this is a game I played, RPG I played at the convention. I quite liked, a lot of fun. I think they came out with a couple more editions of this, but I got to play an intelligent orca. And I remember one of my good friends was like, that's stupid. And I was like, how is it any more stupid than playing an elf or a dwarf? We probably got a whole bunch of this stuff. The first Star Trek RPG that I worked on. What is this? Oh my goodness. Yeah, Narrator's Toolkit because we did a different edition of the game, a whole different line. One just for the next generation, one for DS9, one for the original series, and the art direction on this was amazing. And this was my job, by the way, is going through and getting all of these images, and especially this stuff, going to Paramount and grabbing these still images and then spending hours in Photoshop cleaning them up because they were really, really, look at this. Yep, I should open these up. I remember this game being, I felt, not incredibly, the second edition, this is DS9 core book. This is a beautiful book. And this was the first RPG I ever worked on. All I did was go through and grab images. So all of these, there's hardly any in here. All of these images are all me just with a list from the writers. We need a picture of Data gambling. Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. I'll just go watch hundreds of hours of TV with time codes on them from Paramount, and I will make notes. And so, yeah, I was the Dune collectible card game net rep, and they sort of wanted to keep me on and give me a job. So I was the guy going through this. And I remember they got the rights to this in February, and they wanted to get it done in time for Gen Con in August. And people at various shows were like, retailers, don't bother ordering it. It will not be ready. And it was ready. We got it done thanks to an incredible team. What's this nonsense? I don't know. Have I ever even opened this? Yeah, probably. Definitely going to want to bust this out at some point. So I just collect old sci-fi war games and RPGs. And I think Star Force is the original science fiction space war simulation. Oh, we got to play this. We got to play this in the new office. And I think there's there's like a trilogy of those or something. War Master, what's this doing here? I don't know. I remember playing this and quite liking it, but I think it tanked. So this was a great epic scale. This is sort of what I think some people want from like Kingdoms and Warfare for D&D, is they want to actually be pushing giant. I mean, the minis are literally like that big. It's 15 millimeter scale for War Master. But I remember being really cool. This is a game I picked up at a convention, at a local convention, just because I wanted to support the developer, because they put a lot of work into it. And I think this game turned into a real game. Like it had literally just come out. And I was like, well, it looked cool, whatever. I'll probably never play it. Still in the shrink wrap. So we're definitely probably going to try this, because I've seen Battle Stations. I think it's the same game, like going to a second edition. Dragon Quest. Definitely going to play this at some point on stream, or in a video. I don't know if people need to see it live. We may play it and then record it and edit it down. But this is a gift from my friend Jim Murphy. I've taken it out of the shrink wrap, but it's otherwise unpunched. Just a generic Axis and Allies game. What else do we got? Oh, we got stuff for this lovely machine, which I can't wait to use, maybe with the new edition of the rules. Here is an unreadable... The price of freedom. Apparently the price of freedom is a drop shadow and a blur and who knows what else. The United Federation of Planets Sourcebook. Yeah, and you can tell when it came out because it includes special bonus material from Insurrection. And I remember this being a pretty popular supplement, actually. This is another thing. I didn't do any writing or development on. I wasn't a designer as far as those guys were concerned yet, but I got all these images of all this stuff. That was a lot of fun. Here's the second. So, the second whole iteration, the second system we designed, and I did do a lot of design for this. I designed the Starship combat system. I also got to write the history of the universe for this, which was a lot of fun, just scrubbing through all the Star Trek lore, which I'm a huge fan of, actually, even though I get a lot of crap because I happen to think that Star Trek: The Next Generation is certainly among maybe the worst show I've ever deliberately watched. I'm much more of these two folks than this monkey dude. So let's see, what else do we got? The core book for Aria, Canticle of the Monomyth. The art in this was, I think this is like a Val Merrick painting. Getting Val Merrick that guy's legendary. The first edition of Exalted, which I have for some reason, I never played. Don't know if I ever opened. I remember the legend, the apocryphal story, I'm sure, was that someone told White Wolf that you can't put women and minorities on the cover of RPG books. They just won't sell. And so they're like, okay, well, go to hell. I don't know if that sounds too good to be true, but I remember being sort of, turned off by the art because I really liked the world they were building, but their choices regarding representing that world to me just seemed like, I don't know, like they hadn't spent a lot of money on it, I guess is maybe one way of putting it. What else do we got? More stuff. Oh, look at this thing. This, isn't this Fantasy Games Unlimited Space Opera? I think this might be the game that the band, the Human League, got their name from. I've definitely opened this. I don't know, is this an RPG? Yeah, science fiction role-playing game. I guarantee you that if you opened this up and started reading it, it would not conform to any modern notions of what is an RPG. Oh, 3 Dragon Ante. Definitely going to play some of that in the office. And what else? Along with like a whole bunch of great lunchtime games right here, Codenames Bang and Epic Spell Battles. And then this box set, the Starfleet Academy box set, which again, I remember being really popular. This thing sold really well. All these books sold really well, made a lot of money. So that's it. That's, the beginning of moving all my nonsense, 30, 40 years of collecting games into this office where they will almost certainly sit on a shelf. And instead of sitting on a shelf unused and unread in my garage, they will sit on shelves unused and unread here. Except we will bust some of these things out. Like I definitely want to try, what is Star Force? Open up, try to play it. Play some Dragon Quest. Maybe I can get Jim to run it. Ditto Battle Stations and Space Opera. Yeah, I definitely want to see what this stuff's all about. I just have a huge affection. These are stuff all from before my time. Like I was, 9 or whatever when this came out. And so I didn't know anything about RPGs at that time, but I just love this era, this history of the business and the industry. And it'd just be neat, I think, to open it up and even just go through it and say, hey, here's what's in here. Actually trying to play it might be, too tall an order, but I'd give it a shot.